Hello out there in the realms of the living, you CGI wolves. Welcome to Thrones of Game, the Game of Thrones podcast that watches the series backwards. If you've never heard the show before, well, let me explain there, friend. My name is B.T. Calloway. I've already seen the entire show, but joining me as always is Elliot Jay O'Neill, a man who had never watched a single episode of Game of Thrones until we started watching in reverse order. Elliot, how you doing?
Penultimate episode of Season 6 of Thrones of Game. Woo!
I know. God, we're just catching these things. We have a scotch ready for the next one, don't we? I'm pretty sure we do.
I don't think we've cracked open the black one yet, whatever that was.
The Castle Black one. Yeah. Sorry. But penultimate, as we said, we just watched Season 3, Episode 2, Dark Wings, Dark Words. Elliot Jay O'Neill, what just happened? Yeah, in a show where we talk about the violence and the nudity, not a whole lot of either of these. There's some decent parts, but...
Yeah, I feel like I didn't dislike it as much as I did the last episode, but this was... Oh, man, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of talking, a lot of setting up stuff. Yeah. It's a bit of a slog, this one.
It was, one of those episodes that kind of threads the more interesting ones together. I assume their season opener was big and bombastic.
I
assume. I can't remember what it was, which is nice.
No, and, as we've been getting into the end, I've been reflecting on Season 3 quite a bit, and it's really, all leading up to that red wedding, isn't it? And sort of giving you a false sense of security then, because I guess it's not so much that this episode's a snoozer, actually. It's just that it's maintaining the pace with these other episodes, and then that makes the red wedding stand out as that much huger when it does.
Yeah, you got to think of it as a system of tension and release, and this was building that tension where we've already seen the release. So I think it's one that would be much more favorable on a reasonable forward watch instead of the insane backwards watch. But that said,
we're just daring like that.
Yeah, so I feel like we have to come up with a different questionnaire for these kinds of episodes because there's not a whole lot to talk about. However, this is the format we've chosen, but also pew pew pew.
Yes.
I don't know, but you know what? Let's just stick with it for now, and we'll throw out whatever we feel like later. First question is, what was your MVP? Your most valuable... Sass Queen! And I feel like this might have been her introduction to the series just because of how it's staged and how Sansa gets brought to her, and she's like front and center of the camera and all this. And from the get-go, Sass out the gate.
Yeah, just... Already, if this is her start, I mean, what an intro, and again, setting the pace for how she would be for the rest of the series in her role. Man, she gets all the best dialogue. She's such a brutally honest character.
Yeah, she's such a change of pace for everything else we've seen. Everyone else is always talking in metaphors and just darting around what they really mean, whereas she's just like, boom.
Yeah, and even, I think, a really good indicator of that is when I Can't Believe It's Not Margarine Tyrell is like, oh, grandmother, what would they think of us if you said such things? And they know we have our bloody wits about us. It's just, she's honest and she doesn't see the point in lying. Not that she isn't deceptive at times.
Oh, yeah.
But she's more holds cards close to the chest rather than...
Yeah, doesn't lie necessarily, just, leaves out certain parts.
Yeah,
there's a big difference between lying by omission and just outright false truth. But I do really like her... Well, basically the entire scene of this is really, really good. And it starts off with a little bit of Sansa and Shay. There's a back and forth there, kind of building that relationship. And then Loras comes to take her to see Sass Queen. But yeah, it's a great little scene. I might have, in these high talky episodes, we might have to come in with like quote of the episode.
Yeah.
Which arguably might be Sass Queen's one of, once the cow's out of milk, there's no use squirting the cream back up the udders. It's like...
Just wonderful delivery.
It sounds like garbage when I say it, but my God, when she said it, we both burst out laughing. It was great.
Oh, and the other line as well, what was it? Like, Sansa is, complimenting her and say, yes, and whenever a Tyrell farts, to smell like roses. It's like...
Because she's like, what do you really think of Joffrey? And she's like, he's handsome and brave as a lion and all these things. Oh, yes, all Lannisters are lions and all Tyrells fart roses.
Yeah.
It's like...
Just, another way of saying, please don't blow smoke up my bloomers. But she does it in her Sass Queen original way.
Of all people, to possibly be the only one who says fart in this entire show, it's not Tormund or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's Sass Queen, and that's why we love her. But I actually really love this episode for Sansa, this scene for Sansa as well, where she's like, no, you can trust us, dear. And she's all like, people keep telling me that, like without saying it, but it's all on her face, and it's just, and you can tell she's really wants to like be like, no, Joffrey is fucking awful. You have no idea.
Yeah.
And there's that moment where she can't figure out if she can actually trust these people or what's going on. And it's a great little moment. It's mostly in the face. And then just in the delivery of her lines of, Joffrey said he'd show mercy, and then he cut off my father's head and said, oh, that's mercy, and then brought me up to see his head on a stick. It's like, yeah, it's good. It's a great little bit. So, I had that down for my MVP as well. I have a potential backup MVP because, it's a talky episode. I got to think MVP.
Yeah.
So if we can't talk violence and nudity, we got to talk something. My other backup was going to be Catelyn talking to Una Chaplin, who we still don't know her character name.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the Catelyn is a Stark.
Yes, Catelyn Stark. Catelyn is Arya and Sansa and Rob's mother, and Rickon and Bran.
Wait, who's Catelyn?
Catelyn is the woman who is like making that little arts and crafts project.
Oh, right. Sorry. No, because I got confused because I'll let you get back to that in a second. The Scuba Gang, the curly head one that's always dragging Bran around.
I don't know her name either. The only adult in that group, as we've called her before.
But who's the other one that's not the adult, the other female? Is that a Stark?
I wrote that down. No, that's Mira, Jojen's sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, that is not a Stark.
All right, I was confused by wording. Anyway, back to the where she's making the dream catcher.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's like I like how they also don't explain it. They don't grind to a halt and be like, "Oh, this is a tradition in the North." And no, they just let her make this thing that I'm guessing is a sigil to the old gods, or maybe it's the new ones. I don't know. And she's just talking about how she made one before when Bran had fallen out of the tall tower, and she prayed for him to survive the night, and also once prayed for Jon Snow, who you don't fully, because she's not been alive for very long in this backwards watch, you don't really know, but she's had a resentment towards Jon Snow because he's the bastard child of her husband, or so she thinks at this point.
Yeah.
And there's always been a degree of animosity there. And even in this story, where she's like, I prayed and I said, if you let him live from the pox, I'll raise him as my own. I'll let him be named Stark and all this kind of stuff. And then decided, actually, no, I'm going to continue calling him Jon Snow because she just couldn't go through with that. He was too much of a symbol of this betrayal that from Ned. It's a good scene. It's my problem with it is the score underneath is a little too, oh, this is such an emotional moment. It's like, no, just let the performance convey that, because she's getting that across really, really well.
Yeah, she's absolutely killing it. And, it's that thing with actors, they're not doing a performance, they're telling the deepest truth, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But no, I genuinely believe her in that moment where she's like, I was angry at a woman I hadn't even met. And,
and angry at a boy for a mother he never knew. And
yeah, it's, she's, doing a lot of complex fucking acting there. And, yeah, it must be so hard to convey the emotions. And yeah, I agree. Like, just a really over-obvious string score, really...
Yeah.
It goes totally all the way around and starts to undermine her brilliant performance.
Yeah, not by being the opposite of what she's doing, but being too much overacting while she's acting right in that zone. And, it's also impressive because the dialogue is also always very symbolic and a little bit flowery, and you see plenty of movies based on Shakespearean things where the actors clearly don't understand what they're saying, so they can't emote properly within the words.
Sure.
But in this, she's doing really well. She's got even when she's got a bit more of that flowery language around, I couldn't look into John's brown stranger's eyes and see my own family or something like that. It's not over the top, but like a roundabout way of making your point and a bit flowery, but she sells it and it feels very natural and real. So yeah, I was quite impressed with all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, when there's Sass Queen talking about milk udders, come on.
And not so much an MVP, but just a curious moment for this character going backward is like Jaime Lannister, as I've known him so far, once we get past the whole really feeling down on himself for got a hand chopped off. Get over it, Jaime. No, but once he gets through that period, he finds his confidence again when he learns to sword battle with one arm.
Yep.
And these last couple of episodes, while I've seen him with two hands, he's been a bit of a brat. I've just noticed this extra degree of spoiled rich kid in him, and dare I say, a bit Joffrey-esque.
Yeah, I agree. It's got that kind of moment of they've had everything their entire lives, and as they say in the next/last episode, not confusing at all, they've always been able to just invoke their father's name and get away with whatever, and now he doesn't have that, but he's still, the little chatty brat, and Brown's trying to lead him through the woods, and he's just talking.
Yeah. But it's a similar degree of confidence and stuff that would make his character, in my eyes, that much cooler later. But yeah, I'm annoyed at the little pipsqueak. He's just pissing me off with his cockiness. And
yeah, but I think that's the point. I think it works.
Yeah.
And I do really like when, Bran is trying to decide whether to go across the bridge and risk being seen or go across the water and risk losing him to the river or the current. He's giving her crap then, and then when they're crossing the bridge, he sits down, and even I was like, just drag him up, and then when she does, he steals her sword. I'm like, I would have made that mistake. Well done, show.
And yeah, as far as the sword battle goes, are we in violence now?
Yeah, we're in violent. I was about to yell that more, but it's not violence.
No, this is PG violence.
Yeah.
This is mild violent themes.
Yep.
This is mild fantasy violence.
I love how mild fantasy violence in video games. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
The one that always throws me is when it's like, gee, good for children, and it's like Mario and, whatever, and they're all happy and on the box cover, but it just says, in the rating warning, gee, 8+, gaming experience may change online.
Yep.
What the fuck might happen?
There might be language and penis drawings. You know what might happen online.
Oh, yeah.
You can't protect your children from the internet. You just can't.
Nope. You can even make a penis out of basic characters.
Yep.
Try it at home. Look at the keyboard. You'll figure it out.
People always find a way to draw penises.
Einstein discovered E=mc². Our generation discovered C=8.
I think they've... Nice. I was about to say, I think they've been drawing penises for generations, but
yeah.
Nice. And this apparently has been real-life cock talk. Zip. But yeah, I enjoyed that fight. It's a classic, battling on a bridge. There's something just cinematic about that, just immediately.
Yeah, even... It's not a move that I generally like, is the whole calling the plays as they're fighting thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that feels like such a filmmaker move. It doesn't feel like a real thing, but I liked this one.
Well, here it really makes sense for Jaime's character as well, when he's all like, you shouldn't grimace before you lunge. It gives away the game. It's like that's cockiness and why he's good at this and kind of showing... He loses because his hands are shackled and he's really tired.
Yeah, I guess it seems more real is my point, yeah.
Yeah, but that's that confidence and cockiness. And even when he gets the sword and just kind of tests it out in his hands, and it's like, there's like a clear confidence. Obviously, the actor did train a bunch for swordplay, so he knew what he was doing. And it looks like this is a familiar object to him. And he's like, oh, this sword, okay. Neat.
Yeah, but he's also compensating for his hands being bound, and I think that does give this the fight scene an extra degree of interestingness.
Interestingness, indeediness.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's definitely not one of the best sword battles that I've seen in the whole thing, but it had some interesting choices, definitely.
Yeah, it was enough, especially because it was so much talking in the episode in general and also in their journey in general, that having a bit of unexpected action was quite good. I didn't see it coming, and again, I've seen this thing. I mean, 40 years ago, but still. My only other bit of violence is Theon being tortured, and Ramsay playing the long game, just sweeping in the background, going, "Oh, I'm just a lowly sweep boy."
Yeah,
nothing
just
important.
like a few episodes ago, my notes just read, "Oh no." You see Theon, and you just go, "Oh no."
Yeah. I mean, there's not too much to say about that other than ouch and good screaming. Acting. That's,
Getting the old ice pick under the finger. I mean, it's nothing near that, but I accidentally, a month or something ago, I accidentally put, Bic under my fingernail. That was not good. Could imagine an ice pick would be significantly worse.
Yeah, pointier for sure.
Yeah.
I do still like, there's a meme that's, me, I'll never talk, torturer, I'll make you step in wet. What? Step in wet in sock. No, because that is the worst.
Yeah, I'd rather step in wet in sock rather than get foot wine
screwed.
bottled.
Yeah, that did look nasty, so well done effects program, but yeah.
Yeah, so Do we as the audience know that Ramsay's being deceptive at this point, or?
I'm pretty sure no. I think this is really the introduction for him. And also, I completely forgot, at this point, the Boltons are actually on the good guy's side, because they're following Robb Stark at this moment. So at the end, Noah Taylor and his band of merry men show up to grab Jaime and Brienne, as we know from the here on in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. And he's like, yeah, the Robb Stark... the King of the North will want to know where Jaime Lannister is. I was like, what does he mean, King? Oh, shit, that's right. He's still on Robb's side at this point. Oh, right. That's why that betrayal hurt so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy to forget that, given that the Bolton name was just villainous for the rest of the series. But here, they're on our side.
Oh, totally. And, Noah Taylor as well. And it still boggles my mind that, he was the one that cut off Jaime's hand. I mean, just for the actor himself, what a weird brag. He wasn't in that many episodes, but it's such a massive impact on the course of the show. Well, his character did anyway.
Yeah, for sure. He's like, yep, that was me. Gets to just put that on his resume now.
Yeah.
Cut off Jim Jam's hand.
Who? Lamy janitor.
Have you listened to Thrones of Game?
Shout out to Noah Taylor, our biggest fan, obviously.
Obviously. Oh, man. Okay, so no nudity to speak of, which, okay.
Implied oral sex.
Implied
fantasy sex scenes.
Yeah. There we go. That's about, but it was a decent scene it's one of those things where there's a scene between Tyrion and Shay, and it's a good scene. It's a good back and forth. It's a little bit of levity when he's stumbling across his words, because he's, been like, every man, Sansa will get plenty of wedding invitations. She's beautiful and has a powerful old name. She's like, oh, you think she's beautiful? She's like 17, you pervert. And it's like, I mean it like objectively from a purely, and it's fun, and it's a good little back and forth. A bit of levity and amongst all this misery is always nice.
Yeah, it reminds me of Bob's Burgers when Bob's going to go beat up Jimmy Pesto, and Linda's like, yeah, punch him in his handsome face. And he's like, what? Why do you call him handsome? No, it's just a handsome face. You punch him in it.
Linda. So that's one of the things where it was a good scene. I don't really have any notes about it.
No, I mean, that's it. The actors are good. Tyrion Scar is inconsistent. What else?
Yeah, as always. It's much more healed than it is next episode, which is weird.
Yeah.
I do kind of, because I remember talking earlier about how I'm a little annoyed we never really find out what Shay's whole deal was. And I guess the best I can pull from this is she's now being, urged by Tywin to keep an eye on Sansa so that they can be married off and solidify a power with the North. I guess. I don't know whether to give it that credence if they were actually planning that far ahead, or if they were like, this is just what happens in the books and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, sure. I still don't have a solid grasp on her character either, when I feel like I've seen pretty well her arc in this season at least. Yeah,
I mean, the other character I want to talk about having no idea what's going on is Jojen and Mira themselves. This is their introduction episode. I don't know what their deal is. They're all like, oh, we came a long way to find you. It's like, cool. From where? Who are you? Who sent you? What's going on? What is your plan? It's like, to take you north of the walls. Like, that doesn't tell me anything.
Thank you for pointing that out, because, I wrote Scooby Gang Origins, and I'm like, wait, what was the Origins? And I feel like I'm still missing something. Okay, good. It wasn't just me.
No, it's all very mystic, and, he dreams of seeing Jojen before he shows up, and then, the whole episode starts off with Bran running through the forest, and then there's an actual kind of nice little throwback to, I believe, episode 1, where Robb and Jon are watching him shoot, and he misses, and the voice of his father is like, which one of you is a marksman at 10 years old? So that's a good little throwback. But then, he meets Jojen in real life, and he's like, oh, we're going to hang out now. And it's like, that's it. It's like, oh, but who are you? What's your motivation? Why are you helping us? They talk a little bit about who their father is, but that's not much.
Yeah. So, I guess, this is the introduction of Ferb.
Yeah.
That kid played Ferb in Phineas and Ferb.
I was wondering what the fuck you were talking about, but maybe I just forgot one of our many, many, many names for these characters.
Well, I already burnt through Benny Watson, the little kid from Love Actually, so.
Yeah. Who will never age.
Even when they slap her mustache at him in the Queen's Gambit, still doesn't look a day over 6.
But to throw again to best quote, I do like that, the wildling woman we don't know the name of, who's the only adult in this group, is walking along, is like, can't even remember her opening line. It's like, why are we helping these guys? And, Mira has a good line of, some people always need help. That doesn't mean they're not worth helping. It's like, that's very good. That's very charitable. I like that.
Yeah, I don't like that their scenes have often just descended into women being snippy at each other, but yeah, she's good.
I mean, it gives a bit of context because, much like me right then, I'm like, who are these people? What's their plan? What do they want from us? Why are they helping?
Yeah.
Instead, it's all just, ooh, Mystic, Ike, and Three-Eyed Raven. And a mild apology in the sense that we don't apologize on the show. It is, in fact, Warg, not Warg, like I've been saying. That said, pew pew, motherfuckers.
Warg. Oh,
Warg.
yeah.
What is it good for? Looking through the eyes of Raven. Say it again.
And I didn't know Captain Friendzone Wildling edition was a Warg.
Yeah. He does it. Okay, he's done it before, I'm sure. Where he goes all wide-eyed and yeah.
Do have to watch my pronunciation on that as well because it's very close to being offensive.
What?
I don't know. They prefer to be called Greek.
What? I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Don't you remember that Nick Giannopoulos movie, The Warg Boy?
I mean, I can't fire you from this show because then it would just be me. But that's a joke. I guess. What percentage of our audience is Australian?
Actually, mostly, I think.
Okay, nice. Well, I get that all scanned then.
Yeah.
Landmark movie, The Warg Boy. There we go. Talked about for the first time in 40 years. Yeah. So, what else do we have in not nudity? No, that's it.
Yep.
Jeez. Okay. Well, blah. That's nudity and violence and MVP covered. What else is going on in this episode?
Well, a fair bit of fat shaming as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true. They do give Sam and Hot Pie some shit for being fat. However, new theory, fat people live in this show. Both Sam and Hot Pie live. And I'm not sure of other fat characters. So
fairly decent lives as well.
Yeah. Sam becomes like a head maester and gets... No. So he ends up on the small council, doesn't he? Actually, no, he doesn't. I literally cannot remember what happens to him. Whatever.
Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was on the small council. Like, because doesn't he, like, suggest democracy and everyone's like, you dumb fatty.
Yeah, no, he was there for that. I don't think he was on the small council at the end, though. But, he's got a wife and son and seems quite happy and whatever. And Hot Pie is making hot pies.
That's it. He's got a job, which is fucking seems like a privilege in this economy.
Die horribly.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, just living is pretty good for this show. And,
has a somewhat friendship with Arya, which I think could benefit him in the long run, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, you know what? We'll keep an eye out for other fat characters and see how they do. Obviously, they have to be bullied a bit because otherwise they have to suffer a bit, I suppose.
Well, that's it. Because, the pot calling the kettle fat in this one, the guy who ends up... He gets mauled by the wolf,
He gets mauled by a wolf.
Yeah. But he is the bully in this situation. He is the Nelson Muntz.
Absolutely.
Just go, you're going to cry some more, fatty. You're too cold in the snow and you go fatty. Yeah.
It was some pretty weak bullying, to be fairly honest. He was clearly already crying, so that guy's, starting halfway up. But, I kind of like the kind of idea that they don't leave one of theirs behind no matter what, and he's all like, Tali, I forbid you from dying.
Yeah.
And then takes the Full Metal Jacket approach, who's like, nope, you're responsible for him now. If he dies, so do you. It's like, nice.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I'm actually looking forward to seeing more of how Sam interacts with this group and stuff, and where exactly Jon Snow split up from this. It's really intrigued me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's next episode, actually. I think. Maybe. Or maybe it's next season. Who knows? We'll find out soon, PPU.
But then, like, poor Sam, he collapses from exhaustion from bullying, and then Ed, the indie roadie at this stage, comes up to him. You left me to die. Well, of course we did. You're a fatty.
You're fat and slow. It's like, you were meant to make me feel... And then one of them gives it the look of like, dude, don't say that. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Lie to him? Like, just get up already.
Yeah.
I do kind of like they didn't sugarcoat that. Like, yeah, we had to live, dude. Sorry, but get up. Yeah.
And actually, speaking of the other fat shaming thing, I quite liked all the scenes with Arya and her little Scooby gang.
Yeah, of Gendry, Baratheon, and Hot Pie.
Gendry, I keep confusing him for Podrick.
It's fair. At this point, they look really similar.
Yeah, and I know Podrick's like a little fuller in the cheeks, like not exactly chubby, just fuller.
Yeah, very boyish cheek face.
Yeah.
And he keeps that. That's the difference. Gendry eventually gets a little bit more like stoically man-faced, stony-faced, whereas Gendry Pod just stays soft little pod.
All right, Gendry, because, my note for their team was Arya, Hot Pie, and that guy.
Yeah, no, I have to remember Gendry's name every single time. I have to work back. I know he's a Baratheon, and go back from Gendry.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, I just write down Hammer Time. But yeah, no, I do like how they, traveling along, and then they hide, and then the Brotherhood Without Banners finds them, and they're just like, look, just come along with us. We want to chat and figure out what you know. And I do like that one guy. Nearly got my MVP because it's a good scene. It's just not enough of a scene where he just launches an arrow in the air and goes, listen, fatty, you have to come with us because by the time I stop talking, that arrow is going to fall down and kill you dead. And I really don't want that to happen. And I'm also done talking now. He takes a step aside. It's like, yeah, that bit's good.
Yeah, it's one of those, I am such a good shot that I don't even need to, shoot you point blank.
Mm-hmm.
I could shoot you point blank while pointing up.
Yep, that's a good bit.
It's very good skills. It's like when you see, some of those master Breath of the Wild players.
Yeah, I was going to throw to some Skyrim videos of people, aiming up, firing, then quick traveling and getting hit by their own arrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's pointless, but impressive. Trick shots in video games. Nice work.
Yep. All right. Any other notes?
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty good scene. I gave this a half MBT between, I can't believe it's not Marjorie.
MBT?
Well, shut up. I was going to move on.
Valuable.
MVP, most valuable Bart. Where between can't believe it's not Marjorie Tyrell and Joffrey, where he kind of seems to be grilling her about what she knew about Renly or just being a dick in general. And we kind of see, because I'm assuming this is pretty early for Marjorie Tyrell as well. Not her introduction, but maybe a few episodes later.
Yeah.
Where we get to see her kind of playing this chess on him of knowing how to kind of manipulate him. Then she pretends to be interested in the weapon and finds diplomatic ways to phrase everything to kind of get on his side. And even just sitting next to him instead of standing in front of him when he's pointing the unloaded crossbow, but it's still pointing a weapon in her direction, and then finds a way to just get on his side, both metaphorically and literally.
Oh, God, I didn't think about that at
Neither
the time.
did I
That's
until just
exactly
now.
what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But it works. It's really good. It displays her character without beating you over the head with it. It's like she knows how to manipulate people and how to get in their good graces. And, basically...
But also without, the dialogue is, she's not admitting anything or letting anything on. He's like, do you ever want to kill anything? And she's like, do you think I could? Just doing a nice round of the question game right now to make him think she's on his side fully 100%, but she's not actually answering anything.
No,
it's
and
wonderful.
then at the very end, he's all like, yes, I think you could. He's like, oh, would you like to watch me? He's like, I just felt it move.
Yeah, she absolutely pulled at his strings like she was a lever cranking on a new crossbow.
Sure.
Sure.
Again, if you committed to that, dude,
My metaphors aren't nearly as eloquent as theirs, but I'm sure there's some of that there, that she's pulling his string.
Yeah, they have writers. That's fine.
Yeah.
This is all improv, baby. It's like jazz.
And, Joffrey, not a bad shot.
Yeah, that's true. So I just said it was like jazz, and I'm like, yeah, it is like jazz, because it's all improvised, and there's about 25 people who like it.
Yeah.
This show is jazz.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We're the jazz of podcasts.
Mm-hmm. But I also do consider this scene in contrast to the one where she seduces Tommen, who just kind of comes into his room and is all talking very softly and quietly and gently, but at the same time being, I'm smolderingly hot and you are clearly into this.
Yeah, exactly.
But I like that contrast. So well done to both the character as written and Natalie Dormer for landing both performances really, really well.
Absolutely. And I guess that, thinking about it now is there is a bit of her sass queenness in this, where she's keeping her cards close to her chest. But yeah, she does seem like she's willing to be a little bit more deceptive than her grandmother.
Yep. Once you got to get in, and once you're in, you can start changing things. Let's see. I'm just going to scroll through my notes now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just while talking about Joffrey as well, he had an interesting scene with Seesaw Lannister.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Where basically she's trying to be all casual Seesaw Lannister sitting back, I have all the power, and he's just being, nope, not anymore. It's all mine now.
Women aren't meant to talk, Mom.
Yeah, pretty much. I did write down his exact quote because it was pretty cutting. It was like, that's what intelligent women do, what they're told. And you can see the look on Seesaw's face. It's like, oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
But he did indeed. But he's being the perfect level of brat here, because even though he's not harming anybody, he's just ordering around a tailor and his own mother, and it's like, oh God, I know you. I've already watched you die, but I might YouTube that later. You're just such a bastard.
I don't want flowers. Flowers look like I'm Renly.
Yeah. Blee, 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 blee. Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
what a turd of a kid. I gotta say, he's actually not in the show as much as I'd feared he'd be.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not this season.
Yeah.
But, like, for the season where he ends up dying at the end, like, I gotta say, like, I don't think I've seen a lot of him.
Yeah, true. I guess they've just... How many scenes can you have of someone being a bastard before you get... Yeah, okay, I know. I get it. He's a bastard.
Like, yeah, I've been way more sick of Daenerys, who wasn't in this episode.
I know, and it wasn't named after her, thank fuck. It was named kind of after nothing.
So, it was named after her. But that scene just wasn't in the show.
Yeah, quite possibly, because, yeah, dark wings, dark words. I mean, at the beginning...
Pretty sure I predicted some sort of dragon thing to do with that.
You did, and I predicted, like, buffalo wings. No, I mean, with this one, the only bit of that we get is Ruse Bolton walking and talking to Rob with some bad news.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's, that Catelyn's father has died, and also that Winterfell has been sacked and Bran and Rickon are missing, which is very bad news, but it is, like, a small scene, and it doesn't really impact the episode a hell of a lot. Weird. I don't know. What's your naming conventions, Game of Thrones? I don't get it.
Really? Maybe I don't want to do this, but yeah, I'd like to see someone else do the work of, making up the graph of, the storylines and what percentage of them got the episode title,
Yeah. To be entirely fair, I don't know what you would call this one, because there's a lot of small pieces, nothing significant happens. I even forgot to do that bit I usually do at the beginning of, for those of you playing at home, this is what happens in this episode, because... There's nothing like singular remember this part about this entire episode.
My snoring summed it up pretty perfectly. No, that's been a bit cruel. I didn't actually mind this episode, but it was...
Nothing significant happens. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's just, nothing terribly massive really comes about.
There's another question. What do Bran and Catelyn Stark know of each other's fate?
Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, she dies thinking... Well, knowing he's vanished, not knowing necessarily if he's dead or not, and he never sees her again. So,
yeah, surely the rest of the Starks learnt of the fate of Rob.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure Bran did hear about Rob, but he wouldn't have heard about everyone else. I know maybe word reached him. Actually, I don't know, where was he by the time of the Red Wedding? They were pretty far north by then.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe not. Maybe not until he became all dead-eyed and flat-voiced and just, I am the three-eyed raven. What does that mean? You don't know. I don't know.
His own, like, annoying version of, like, what the Red Woman shtick is or what Ferb's deal was. It's just, mystical fucking vagaries.
Galaxy brain nonsense. Let's have a quick look through here. A bit more Sass Queen. I do like when Sansa finally does, break this wall of trying to hold all the truth back. And it's like, truth is he's a monster. And she just goes, oh, that's a pity.
Yeah.
Because she's got to be the best thing ever at all times.
But still a politician when it comes down to it. How do you expect us to do this walk? Putting one foot in front of the other. Couldn't do it justice. Tilda Swinton, close candidate for MVP.
Yeah. Jamie Atlantis is all just, how are we supposed to pass the time on this walk?
Oh, that's right.
And she's just like, put one foot in front of the other.
And he's just like, let's talk. I like talking. Do you like parfait? Parfait's delicious.
No one ever says I don't like no parfait. Yeah. I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, Tilda's like, no, I'm like an onion. Anyway, there was a line from Drunky McGee, which was, "There's no story which Ale can't make better." He's fucking right.
That was a great quote.
Yeah, if I ever own a pub, that's going to be wood carving, maybe a wood burning.
Yeah, just above the bar.
I'll get old Jim to make it up for me. He's into woodwork.
Nice. My other note is we have a bit of John talking to Mans Raider, and he's talking about how he united all these clans together, and he's all like, you know what I did to get all these moon worshippers and Thens all to fight for me? I told them we were all going to die because it's true. And it's like, buddy, we've lived through 2020 now. We know that shit doesn't work. You don't unite people by telling them they're all going to die. It didn't work with climate change. It didn't work with masks and social distancing. Just don't lie to me. I know you probably didn't know, Ger Martin, but still, we all know this now.
It's so funny how some of these pre-2020, like, pandemics or diseases or zombies, like, it's just, they look quaint now. It's like, oh, if only it was actually that easy.
Yeah, man. Not to get too hardcore into, the bleakness of the real world. But yeah, I do like that. any apocalypse movie that doesn't show looting of toilet paper is completely fucking pointless now.
Exactly.
And all the tweets that are coming out, because we pre-recorded this, and things have just developed in America, who are saying, it probably wouldn't be hard to steal the Declaration of Independence given everything that's happened. So, yeah, if you watch something like White House Down now, or anything where anything happens in a high territory government building, pretty easy apparently.
No, it's so funny. Like, I mean, I remember watching House of Cards back in the day and being such impressed with such a show of political intrigue, and now it's just like, I had a real hard, like, besides the fact that Kevin Spacey is totally cancelled,
Yep.
I had a hard time revisiting and getting into that show. It's just like, is that what politics was?
It's what we like to believe it was, and maybe it was once upon a time. Now it's a circus with the Benny Hill theme playing constantly. But to bring us out of that mesh...
please. Back to fantasy.
Yeah, back to fantasy. We'll see if we can throw in a few more cock jokes. The whole thing does start with, Allbrand having a dream, and we mentioned that already. But when he comes out, adult supervision is all like, I don't need to listen to your dreams about black magic. And he's all like, I didn't ask for dreams about black magic. I just wanted regular wet dreams. But, that's puberty, man. That's puberty.
I like to think that's what Hodor was asking. Did you have a wet dream?
Need your sheets changed, sir? No, I'm good.
Why don't they understand me?
He's trying so hard. Good old Hodor. And I believe that is all my notes. How about you?
I'm good.
Okay, well, if that puts me out of notes, that puts you out of notes, we must ask our final and arguably the most important question. How did we get here?
Well, some dark words on Dark Wings floated by and told me that the next episode is called Valadoeris?
Valadoharis?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Dohaeris.
Valadoharis.
All right. So that's a person, I'm guessing, from context?
I don't like to tell you these things.
It's a concept.
Yeah.
It's a belief. I'm going to find out what that word means.
Yay!
It's probably another one of Daenerys' names.
Okay. Well, the other note I just remembered I did have was I do like when Jojen shows up and the wolf is all growling at him and he's all like, offers him his hand, but, face down so you can pull it away quickly. Like, that is the correct way to pat doggos.
Exactly.
So I'm going to say this Valadoharis is the method of which you pat dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But until then, I've been BT Calloway, and that's been Elliot Jay O'Neill.
Goodbye!
And for now, our watch has ended.
Sorry, record scratch sound.
Okay, I can put that in.
Yeah, you mentioned last episode there was someone said someone's name in Smash Cut 2. That happened twice in this episode. What's his face when would have this been? Grim Bearded Stinking Barbarians? Oh, so it was Catelyn Stark.
Yep.
She mentioned Theon and then Smash Cut 2.
Sorry, not Catelyn. That's Una Kaplan's character who I can't remember.
That one. Sorry. Yeah.
Rob's wife.
Yeah, it's who I was thinking of, but I didn't know the name because there's fucking a million people on this show.
Also, I don't think they've said the name in this reverse watch yet, so it's pretty...
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure. Obviously they introduce a character and then they don't constantly say their name, but still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's why so many people have weird nicknames because I just didn't know them.
Yeah, on the same point, no one has gone, well, geez, you know what that means? That could be Sandra, and then cuts to her or whatever the fuck her name is. I don't think it's Sandra, but still.
And then, she... And then later on, sorry, I'm being confusing, I know. Catelyn Stark did mention Bran and then Smash Cut 2. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't that. No, she was talking about Jon and then Smash Cut 2. Yeah. Sorry, my notes are all mixed up and I just wanted to get that out. And I'm criticizing Game of Thrones, but I don't even have my own shit together. So pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, we're just here to criticize.
Woo!
And for now, what is it?